Hello everyone and welcome back to Wicked Reading. Today I'll be reading SCP-1774, The Proof's Equipment. Object Class, Safe. SCP-1774 is the collective designation for several pieces of equipment formerly used by an amateur paranormal investigation agency. Current extant pieces include a handheld infrared video camera, SCP-1774-01, a handheld thermographic video camera, SCP-1774-02, an EMF detector, SCP-1774-03, a ghost box, SCP-1774-04, a divining pendulum, SCP-1774-05, a digital voice recorder, SCP-1774-06, and an infrared thermometer, SCP-1774-07. Each instance of SCP-1774 acts as a container for a unique spectral entity, designated SCP-1774-X-Alpha, i.e. SCP-1774-01-Alpha and -02-Alpha. All instances are sapient and are only capable of being detected and interacted with using their respective SCP-1774 instance. For example, -01-Alpha is only capable of appearing on film recorded by -01, and -06-Alpha can communicate via taking over data recorded on -06. Data recorded by SCP-1774 instances can vary greatly from what is actually occurring. For example, footage from -01 can show the manipulation of objects in the room, flickering of lights, and alterations in the behavior of recorded individuals, when none are occurring. All -X-Alpha instances are seemingly capable of communication with each other. During testing, individual instances have been shown to work in concert with one another in an attempt to falsify paranormal evidence. All instances of SCP-1774 were used by an amateur paranormal investigation society known as The Proof. The Proof is based out of Ohio State University and investigates various supernatural phenomena throughout the Midwestern United States, often resorting to creating hoaxes of falsifying evidence for their web show, The Truth and the Proof. No members of the organization have any knowledge of Foundation activity and, as such, are not considered a threat. During an investigation on a private property in Cleveland, Ohio, police arrested the entirety of The Proof on allegations of breaking and entering, trespassing, and fraud. Their equipment was taken into police custody, where its anomalous properties were first noticed. A Foundation recovery team confiscated the equipment and brought it to Site 88 for study. Test Log 1774. Test Number 1774-01. Items used. -01. Testing procedure. -01 was turned on and used to film a portion of the hallway at Site 88 over the course of 12 hours. Results. -01-Alpha manifested as a woman, approximately 45 years of age and wearing a Victorian-era dressing gown. -01-Alpha paced back and forth through the section of hallway visible on the film, disappearing and reappearing in between frames. -01-Alpha was shown walking through a research assistant on the film, causing them to momentarily convulse and vomit. This action did not occur outside of the recording. At one point, -01-Alpha's face appeared directly in front of the lens, causing the observing researcher to become startled and fall out of his seat. I swear to God, she was laughing afterwards. Dr. Bryant. Test Number 1774-05. Items used, -02-07. Testing procedures, -02 and -07 were used in concert with one another to determine if any communication could occur between the separate -X-Alpha entities. Results, -02 recorded several thermal anomalies, including one humanoid cold spot standing in the middle of the testing room. -07 seemingly confirmed the existence of this cold spot, registering a drastic temperature change of 15 degrees Celsius. However, no temperature change was found by a normal infrared thermometer. At several points during the test, the digital display on -07 was observed to read die, as opposed to the temperature reading. -02-Alpha, as depicted on the film, was observed to be laughing for the duration of the test. Test number 1774-07. Item used, -04. Testing procedures. Dr. Bryant would attempt to communicate with -04-alpha, using -04 as a medium for communication. Results. Dr. Bryant's attempts at conversation were met by silence for the first 5 minutes of testing. Following this, -04 let out a screech of feedback and yelled the words, "Get out!" several times in a low-pitched voice. Further attempts at communication resulted in sounds of sobbing, laughter, and the statement, "I love this job." Test number 1774-08. Items used, -05, -01, -02. Testing procedures. -05 was carried in by Dr. Bryant around the testing chamber, allowed to swing freely. -01 and -02 recorded the room, which had several lightweight objects placed on the floor and tables around it. Results. -05 spun more rapidly in certain areas of the room. In these areas, -01 alpha and -02 alpha were shown manifesting on their respective objects. However, -01 alpha could not be detected by -02 and vice versa. Both -01 alpha and -02 alpha were observed to manipulate various objects around the room. At one point, -01 alpha was shown throwing a small wooden block at Dr. Bryant's head, causing him to react by ducking below it and swearing. These actions did not occur outside of the recording. Footnotes. 1. In reality, a scanning radio that has had its stopping function disabled. 2. Daniel Christian, leader of the proof. Special containment procedures. Each SCP-1774 instance is to be kept in Class II spectral containment units in separate wings of Site-88. SCP-1774-01, 04, and 07 are to have their batteries recharged or replaced weekly to ensure that the entities contained within are not destroyed due to oversight. Testing is to be performed with the permission of Director York.